Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. On behalf of our chairman, Mr. Julius Hollis, who you just heard from, and our board of directors, I believe there are 6 of them that are here with us from all over the country. We have Maggie Pedraza, who is here from Miami, Florida, Mr. Frank Jones, who is from Atlanta, Georgia, Mr. David Rivers from Charleston, South Carolina, Mr. Bill Diggs, who is one of our panelists from Miami, Florida, Mr. Rodney Ellis is from Houston, Texas, who is our moderator, and Mr. Bill Lamar, also from Atlanta, Georgia. Please welcome our board members, and let's get started.
The issue is having access to broadband, because if you don't have access to broadband, you don't really have that window to the world that everybody else has.
In the future, banking systems will be delivered primarily through the internet.
So many healthcare applications are very bandwidth intensive.
We've seen small businesses that have 1 to 3 employees that before couldn't compete for local contracts that have now been able to use broadband to compete on a worldwide level.
Most are probably asking what's a large aerospace and defense company doing at a conference like this. What people don't realize is about 1/3 of our revenue is in information and technology.
We've got a lot of video technologies, a lot of cutting edge technologies to fight crime that require a lot of bandwidth.
Some people get on that bandwidth and they want to essentially run a large truck through on that infrastructure. So the issue becomes, who pays if you don't have enough bandwidth?
The playing field isn't equal. It is a concern about who pays and making sure that our policies are correct and driving the investment and innovation that we all need.
In school systems, when there is unequal access, that leads to unequal opportunities for students, teachers, and families.
Some of the causes that have been fought at the community and neighborhood level and have lost would have won if the technology had been then what it is today.
Those who don't have access to technology, they don't have an equal voice, an equal say as those who do.
I do think that the first place that we've got to start is really seriously looking at some regulation of this.
The internet has grown the way it has, and the explosion of its use is because it hasn't been controlled. It's been just morphing itself into what it is. I think we have to be careful when we start regulating it.
Sometimes government has to lead in areas with economic development and jobs and education.
Remember, we have limited budgets. We have limited constraints on us, and there's a role for government when it's appropriate, but we've got to be careful. We cannot go in everybody's house and say we're going to mandate that we put a computer and the government's going to pay for it.
Remembering that change will come whether we do anything or not,